I'm going to go public. Oh, shoot. I clicked on start streaming first. All right. Here, we're on public. It should be live.
It's live right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't see it on the...
Okay, so if you guys can
Yeah, you might have to refresh.
Okay. I might have to refresh a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, it still doesn't say live, but that's okay. I mean, but as long as you guys see it, we're good. And
yeah, I'm seeing this. Stay tuned.
Okay. I'm just clicking on buttons at the moment. We're in the stay
Interesting.
tuned.
For whatever reason, it's actually not loading on my tablet. Oh, because I'm on the wrong internet. There we go.
So we're just getting going here. Hang on. Yeah, it's not showing on mine yet either. Are you sure you see it now, Naomi? Okay,
I see
it
the stay tuned.
There we
We're
go.
starting in a few minutes.
Yep, it's appearing now. So Nick, there we go. Live chat. Yep, it shows now.
Yep,
Everything's
popping
good.
up. We have 4 people watching right now. If you are watching this stream right now, hang in there because we are just working on some things here on the back end, and we will be live right here with you in just a few moments.
Okay. I'm pretty good on my end now. Everything's ready.
Six people watching now. All right, guys, if you are just tuning in right now, we are just moments away from going live. So make sure that you do not go anywhere because this is getting ready to be awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to...
I like your background, Naomi.
Thank you. I'm actually thinking of getting a Nick Neiman blue light.
Nice. Nice. It's funny. It's coined a Nick Nimmin blue light. It's awesome.
Right.
Is Tuber Tools going to have a line of LED lights?
You know, it should actually.
Yeah.
I know.
It would be...
You know, that's really good thinking, Gord. Actually, it's probably a good idea to put, to at least put a page on there on how to do that light setup. Because I have people asking me how to do it all the time.
Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to bring us live now. And I just need to get...
My logo just went dark in the background.
The
Screensaver popped up. No big deal.
OBS transition.
It's the fun alive, rolling hard. Professor Nez in the house. Lay Mystique Sketchbook. What is going on? Nice to see you in the stream.
All right, we're live.
Hello, one and all, says Nez.
Can someone just confirm that they can see,
We're
see
live.
us all here?
We're live.
Three?
We're definitely live.
Okay, great.
Yay, our first one.
Yeah,
We made it.
we made
Made it.
We're here, and only a minute or so, a couple of minutes, a little behind, but it's all good. So first, I'd like to welcome everybody. I'm here today with Nick Nimmin and Naomi Skarzinski, and we're co-hosting special guest Nick Nimmin. And the subject for today is going to be small YouTuber success. So what does success mean as a small YouTuber beyond just the statistics? Because
Right.
it's so easy to get hung up in just, looking at our stats, our subs, our likes, our dislikes. Is anybody commenting? And using that as our only motivation and driver. And, we know there's a lot more to that. And Naomi and I, thought that it would be great if we could discuss part of our journey so far and have someone like Nick, who I guess comparatively, Nick, to the length of time I've been working in earnest on my channel is similar to the time that you have, but Nick's results are just staggeringly
Phenomenal.
amazing. So we're going to get a few different insights and perspectives from Nick and Naomi. And first, thank you everyone who's here and anyone who's watching on a replay, because hopefully we're going to share some good knowledge bombs. And Nick's always fun to be with. I look at Nick now as a veteran of live stream because I've watched most of them, and your participation with people like Owen and Professor Nez and others, and really enjoying how you share with the world. So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's a good time. The thing with live streams is I like how organic they are, because
Right.
you can sit in front of a computer for weeks. You know what I mean? Like if you're being real specific or you're trying to put together a certain type of video, you can sit in front of your computer for a long time trying to get everything perfect. But with live, it's just organic. Everything happens as it goes. Sometimes things are perfect. Sometimes things are a total disaster. But either way it goes, you still have to roll with it. And having the community there in the chat box, asking questions and leaving comments and just, also participating in what's going on, it really makes all of it a really good time.
Yeah, so as we're talking right now, you're making me think of how, I got the chat to look at, and I'm just not used to looking over on my my tablet while you're talking, and you're really having to multitask pretty well to juggle this experience. And of course, I have a list of questions here that Naomi and I put together, and I gotta just whoops, and I'm banging the equipment. Got to just accept that this can go wherever it's going to go,
Right.
So we do have a bit of a loose structure, I'm going to say. So if it's okay with you, Nick, what Naomi and I wanted to do was briefly share with everyone what our insight was about small YouTuber success and what it means to us, and then flip over to you and start to get some of your experiences and ask you some questions, so people can see that there's different strokes for different folks, and
Right.
but there's a lot of commonality too in what we all strive for in our goals and execution and success. So first, Naomi, as well, introduce yourself and share with us your insights on small YouTuber success.
I'm Naomi. Hi, guys.
Hey, Naomi.
My channel is on youtube.com, topshelfva. My website is topshelfva.com. And what I am is a online business manager, virtual assistant. And I just wanted to say one thing that when Nick was speaking, it really kind of brought home to me. When I was in the corporate world, I wanted to start my own business, which was 14 years ago. And I was like, well, I don't have to see anyone. I can just be in my office and I don't have to talk to anyone. This is great. And now, 14 years later, it's like, I want to be on video. I want to be live. I want to see people, because when you're in the office by yourself day in and day out, it's really nice to have this connection with people.
Oh, that's great.
My website is and it's what I call an eclectic fusion of business and life. I am a person that does not like to stick to one subject. So I have quite a few different things that I concentrate on in the channel. Basically, most of it is along business. Heavy concentration on how to use Camtasia, PowerPoint, Photoshop. Mm-hmm. Then there's my Top Shelf VA report, where I give a lot of business tips from things that I see on the web or other video channels that raises questions, and it's my response to that. And then occasionally I'll have 60-second life hacks of how do you fold a queen size fitted sheet, just for fun to lighten the mood. And then there's the It's Friday videos where you're like, oh, thank God it's Friday. So that's basically what my channel is. I really don't concentrate in just one area.
Okay, cool. And so just to kick us off, like with each of us sort of giving an introduction when we share our insights. So now can you share with us, well, actually, we'll finish channel introductions and then we'll jump right in. Okay, so I'll just add my channel. So I'm all about wanting to help people with their video creation skills. And I see that as like the overall major niche, but I see sub niches in it. So I love, whether it's, becoming a ninja at editing, how to set up your home or your setting or your backgrounds or your lights for running a nice YouTube environment and to professionally produce your videos. So, and I like training, and I love to create a lot of stuff too, which I'm sort of refraining from now because I'm finding that a lot of people are greatly enjoying the Camtasia videos that I've produced. I've taken a deep dive in that area now to share with people, and that seems to be working well. So there's lots more.
I think you and I've learned a lot from each other on Camtasia.
Yeah, so there's a lot of neat niches to go. Oh, look.
Oh, Brian G. Johnson in the house. What is going on, Brian G?
The boss, Brian G, is in the house. Welcome. So yeah, so there's a lot of things, and this is a topic I wanted to raise later, which is about sub niching. Nick will bring that up a little later about the scope of that and what latitude is reasonable. Because as people can tell already, that Naomi has got a diverse channel. I'm starting, although I'm still pretty focused, I do want to sub niche out a little more in the scope of what I'm doing, and at the same time keep that in alignment with the growth of your audience. So finding that and connecting and hoping you grow from there, because we're talking about success and what does that mean. So Nick, now on to you. Share with us about the glory of what Nick Nimmin does.
My name is Nick Nimmin. I make videos that help YouTubers grow their channels, make videos and all types of other YouTube related stuff. And that is pretty much my story. My backstory is basically I started out as a graphic designer, which I still do. In addition to that, I got into some marketing stuff also, which also led me into video, which I absolutely fell in love with. And now we're hanging out on live streams.
And I bet you didn't see that a year and a half ago, or when, a while back.
Yeah, the live stream thing. I mean, when that came along and just kind of, shook everything up, and to be honest, I was uncomfortable initially with the live stream thing. When I had done a few previously, I did, I think 1 or 2 for YouTube, and I think 2 or 3 for Facebook. And I just wasn't really feeling it. But when they released the mobile option for YouTube to be able to live stream from your mobile phone,
right.
For whatever reason, I got just extremely excited about it. Brian G. Johnson, who's in the chat right now, he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, do you have access to this feature yet?" And I looked and I had access to it. So I went and I did the first actual, hey, I'm going to interact with people type of live stream. Right. And I just had a blast. It ended up lasting 2 hours and some change. And it was just a really good time. So I said, okay, as of today, I'm going to start adding these to my, to my weekly schedule. Yeah. And almost every single week now I go on my channel and I do, some information at the beginning of the live stream. And then after that, which is my favorite part, after that is the part that I really like, which is, interacting with the community, answering subscriber questions and all of that stuff. So if you're watching this and you end up subscribing to my channel, make sure that you hit the bell notification icon. Your questions.
Yeah. Awesome. So now to dig in, I'm going to have Naomi, you share a bit about your insights about small YouTuber success, what that means to you, and then I'll do likewise, and then that'll segue us right into, getting Nick to share and contrast how he sort of perceives things. And for him, I'd say it's kind of looking back in a way, but, YouTube channel success in terms of subs scales to crazy numbers, and, what does it really mean? So go
and
go
really,
ahead.
it's not really looking back, I still have the same day-to-day struggles that everybody else does, I still have the same struggles at 28,000 that I had at 500. You know what I mean? It's, you still got to come up with video content ideas. You still got to, present the video. You still got to edit the video. You still got to do the keyword research. You know what I mean? It's, as far as the actual process is concerned, it's the same.
It's the same.
I mean, there isn't the only thing different between that, between when I had 500 subscribers and now that I have 28,000 is viewer perception.
Well,
And of course the practice also, because you learn a lot along the way, but your perception is the main thing that's changed. But as far as what I'm doing outside of, more practice, but as far as the actual workflow is concerned, it's pretty similar to what it was, at 500 subscribers too. So it's the same struggle. We're all going through the same stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly sort of along the lines of why I started talking to, Gord. I almost said Nick. That's why I had started, why Gord and I got onto this conversation because, and this is how we came up with this idea, because I was saying, well, he had just hit 500. I'm like 493, almost at 500. And I said,
hold on. Right now you're at almost 500?
I'm almost at 500, 493 right now.
Okay, anybody that's watching this right now, or anybody that's watching this on the replay, head over to Naomi's channel right now and help her get over that mark.
Right.
Top
Thank
Shelf
you,
VA.
Nick.
And if someone, one of our moderator friends would be so kind as to share Naomi's link to her channel, that would help. And
YouTube.
this is going to happen on this chat. It's going to happen.
YouTube.com, Top Shelf EA. Anyway, so we were having this conversation, and I said, one of the things that I was realizing, because all of us small YouTubers, we look up to our mentors like Brian G, Nick, Tim Schmoyer, Amy, I can't remember. Schmittauer, et cetera. And I was realizing one of the things that was very easy to happen is we get so focused on just the numbers that we don't look at what our successes are. Each individual is different, and we have different benchmarks or parameters of what we would determine what success is. And especially if you're starting out as a small YouTuber, then my personal opinion is don't focus on the numbers. Don't make that your priority to be focused on. Do everything you need to do to help the numbers grow, but don't make that your first benchmark when first starting out. Make your first benchmark. For me, for instance, mine was, okay, I'm going to start YouTube so I can have a portfolio of what I can do with video work, and I can start building my portfolio. And so maybe I can get some clients either for my online business management, topshelfea.com, or I can start getting video work for and screencast work for others. So that was my benchmark. That was my focus. I wasn't as focused on how are my numbers. And when Gord and I started having this conversation, I said, in the past 2.5 years, I have gained 4 clients. 2 of those clients have been with me for 2 years. Mm-hmm. That's 2 years of revenue, just from my YouTube channel. Then a couple other clients have been with me 3 months, and another is going into her 2nd month. So that's an enormous amount of revenue. I look at that as a benchmark. And then I also have a self-employed business startup kit, which Gord's going to provide the link, and it's free to anyone. And every time that I see somebody sign up for that and go through it, it warms my heart, because one, I'm providing something to them. There is within the kit, if they want to donate, but I don't expect any donations. So every 4 or 5 months when I see my PayPal come through and somebody donated, it was like, oh, wow. So I look at those right now as my benchmarks of what success is, on top of looking at the numbers and doing everything I can to bring up my numbers. But I make those parameters my first parameters, or my benchmarks.
Okay. So I'll just add a few insights from my experience, and then we'll go on to Nick, where we're going to learn a treasure trove of goodies.
Or you won't learn anything, one of the two. Or it'll be like, I don't know how to reply to that question. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just building it up because I'm excited to hear. So I have some similarities definitely to what Naomi referred to, because I'm trying to grow and show my skills and my portfolio and build what my capabilities are out through YouTube. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's the artist in me that when I first got inspired about video and creating and educating was like, oh my God, look, whiteboard sketching, Camtasia, am I going to put myself in front of a camera? Am I, like, the world's your oyster, because it's a creative platform. And like Naomi said, coming from the corporate world, I'm in a cage and I got a job to do. I got these 15 people to manage. I'm delivering big IT projects on a budget. And it's like, everything's like the same thing. Now it's like, the so to speak, you create from scratch anything you want. So leaving the corporate space into the entrepreneurial game has made me look at things differently, and having to figure out, where to focus has been a challenge for me. I know I love creating, but I also know if I'm going to be a full-time YouTuber, an educator, and create courses and help people succeed in YouTube and their video creation work, I need to start to connect with the people in a way that they're looking to be connected to, but at the same time, try and leverage my interests because, you know, I need to be passionate and inspired. But it's not always the case that I can just go out and do any creative thing I want in order to keep things going in the way of a bigger plan. So, you know, right now, you know, I'm only producing videos once a week, but I'm putting all the other pieces together, you know, like my website's coming soon because, you know, I'm only at this, you know, in the last year, sort of switching from what I was doing before. So I see that, you know, the small YouTuber success for me at the beginning, I was, you know, oh my God, look, 1 or 2 subscribers. And, you know, I must say, this is just, you know, an aside for a moment, but the thing that had the most profound impact on me was Brian G. Johnson's Trust Funnel Academy course that I took that started me off last April. And it just put me in a whole new direction, realizing I got very inspired about what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go.
Right.
And then shortly,
Brian, just to jump in here, Brian G. Johnson is fantastic for inspiration.
Yes.
Just want to go ahead and put that out.
He's
there.
Awesome.
As far as, you know, just inspiring people to do stuff, he is fantastic at that. Fist bump to Brian.
Like, yeah. Everyone.
I have a feeling that Brian
there's
doesn't
my camera.
sleep.
See, I don't know where the camera. Yes.
I have a feeling Brian doesn't sleep or is on constant caffeine. I've never seen somebody on that much of a high energy so much.
Well, his energy is contagious, and he's managed to successfully, you know, he created the Tube Ritual community, which came shortly after the Trust Funnel Academy, and I took the 30-day challenge. So at first I'm going, oh my God, I don't want to put my face in front of the camera. I started out doing these whiteboard sketch videos, and I go, oh my God, it'll be like, you know, massive amount of work and editing in order to deliver one thing. I can't imagine surviving this for a month. So what I slowly did was got myself out in front of the camera and started to learn, and you know, through, I'm saying, Tube Ritual community and what's happened there, which is the community that Brian hosts as a Facebook group. It's just meant the world to me, you know, meeting all kinds of people and getting to connect and test things. And, you know, I highly recommend to people, you need to share your stuff and connect with other people in order to build your, you know, a following and an audience. And, you know, some great groups like this, you know, help support that cause. And I just wanted to share that. And so, you know,
well, that's part of the success too of what we're talking about, YouTube success. If you had not, that can be a benchmark for you. That can be what you can look at as, this is where I was successful. I got to meet these types of individuals that helped mentor me and help mentor me to take me out of that box or take me out of that fear of being on camera or doing this.
And in fact, I find, for me at least, the connection in this space, being in the internet world and through the communities like Tube Ritual, I find my connections more real than they were in the corporate world, because everyone's putting up a facade tied to their title and their role and their function. They're not as much being the authentic person who they are. I find that very redeeming and enjoyable about being able to connect with people like this, like you guys in the community. And I find that's been a huge part. And my last point was this. It's funny how in the beginning, when I would get like 1 sub in 2-3 days or a week, it was like a eureka moment. Then as that grew to 2, 5, more than 1 in a day, it's like, it's amazing how much stock we put in those statistics, and it can be very distracting and sort of pull you down. And, you know, like now, Nick, you must get, you know, close, you know, to what is it, near 150 to 200 a day sometimes. It's that high, right?
Right now I'm averaging between about 170 and 240 a day.
Wow. So this is perfect segue into Nick starting to say, how was it back when you were getting 1 sub a day, and how did you keep your motivation and inspiration up through the time when you were like kind of finding yourself?
Well, not even 1 sub. What was it like for you when you started your YouTube channel and you were at 0 in your trajectory?
When I started and I was at 0, luckily, I was shown, like literally within a day or two after uploading my first video, somebody showed me a Facebook group for video marketers on Facebook. So I think that may be where I met you, Naomi, in that group initially. And in that group, I went in there and I started sharing my videos in that group because it was a good match for the type of content that I was making. So I started picking up subscribers, relatively fast there. But when I first started, I wasn't really taking the channel seriously. Like my upload schedule wasn't there. I was trying to do uploads on a regular basis, but on the flip side, it wasn't something initially that I thought, hey, I'm going to actually make something out of this. It was more of, hey, I'm just going to put videos up and kind of see what happens. I'm going to make some videos that speak to the, marketers or, video marketers, because at the time, I was doing a lot of design work, a lot of general freelance work as well, because as you know, Naomi, when you provide services for other people, if you're doing design work, then they're going to hit you up. Your customers are going to hit you up and they're going to say, oh, hey, you do design work for us, but do you by any chance know anybody that does WordPress?
Right.
And so, next thing you know, you're like, well, let me see if I can do the tweaks that they need instead of sending them somewhere else or whatever. Right. So you start picking up a lot of extra skills that complement what it is that you're already doing. So
exactly.
I was basically, my original plan was that I was just going to share those skills on YouTube to people that, that it might help out. And in the process of that, I was going to, build an email list and all of that stuff, but it wasn't something I was taking seriously yet. And because I wasn't taking it seriously yet, like I wasn't too hung up on the subscriber numbers or anything like that. Like I wasn't into, how many subscribers did I get today or anything like that. It just wasn't, it wasn't like a huge focus at the time.
Right.
And then when I actually stopped on that channel after doing it for a few months, I stopped on that channel and I went and did the other channel. And once I started doing that channel, then I started taking YouTube seriously and I started actually like studying YouTube, instead of just putting up videos. I was actually like, hey, I'm going to start testing stuff. I'm going to start, going into my analytics and really paying attention to what's going on. And I'm going to try to actually build something.
Well, can I ask a question right before you got to that point when, how do I put it, right when you decided that you were going to get serious and look at your analytics, how did you handle, or did you ever have any feelings of I'm not being successful, or how did you look?
No, what I did initially on that channel is I made a really awesome channel trailer, because I have a, I understand that in order for people to come on board with what you're doing, you have to impress them in some way.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm going to put together this awesome channel trailer of this, footage that I'd put together during, travels or whatever. And I made stuff that was specific. Like it all worked out because during the time that I was putting the content for that channel together, I was also doing a lot of traveling. So, I had all this cool footage from, different locations and things like that. And it made for a really awesome channel, or a really awesome channel trailer. So I put that together and I put that up and I shared that in a few places. And right away on that channel, just from the trailer, I got like 100 and something subscribers in less than, I think it was less than a week. Just because it's still on the channel. You can check it out at all our questions, but it's just a cool channel trailer, right? And because of that, it was cool. Yeah, it's something that, it's impressive. So people are like, okay, well, whatever's coming on this channel, if it's something like this, then I want to subscribe and see what's coming, right?
Right.
Yes.
So that's how I kind of got that going. But on that channel, though, I was concerned. Go ahead, Gord.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about, because you at a point transitioned into your core channel on YouTube now, you educating people on YouTube. You sort of put your other channel in a hiatus, and then I know I burned out.
I didn't put it on a hiatus because it was like, hey, I'm because I didn't like it or anything like that. I got burned out. Because for me, I don't know all of the information that's on that channel, so I had to actually go and research it and all this stuff. And working 3 uploads a week into my normal life and all of that stuff, I wasn't able to hold it together. I'm not ashamed to say that I just wasn't able to hold it together. I put way too much of a load on myself that eventually I broke. So that's the first tip for small YouTubers, right? Yeah. Make sure that what you're doing, push yourself, but make sure that what you're doing, you're able to carry the load long term. Make sure that you're working on something that's sustainable, because the last thing you want is what happened to me. I've put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into making like 70 videos, I think, for that channel. And now, even though it's still getting like 400 and something subscribers a month, it's getting ready to cross 7,000 subscribers on that channel too. But
awesome.
Putting all of that effort there, knowing that right now it's just sitting there in the background is a killer. Yeah. You know what I mean? But on the flip side of that, and I constantly, badger myself on it. And I think, man, if I would have just put all of those videos into this channel, then, where would this channel be out at now? But on the flip side of that, I wasn't excited the channel that I have now at that time. So those things, just the way the universe works, right? Like the right things had to fall in place in order for me to actually get pumped up about what it was that I was doing. So basically when I started all our questions, then I got excited about YouTube, and then I started studying YouTube and you know, learning to figure out what works and all of that stuff. And once I got burned out on that, I said, you know what, I love YouTube now, and I know how to get results on YouTube. So I'm going to take the system that I'm applying there, and I'm going to rebrand everything and apply it to this other channel and see how that goes. And even when I started back on the current channel, I was still going back and forth, and I was saying, you know, okay, well, you know, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't uploaded anything, but maybe I'm going to go back to it. And I would sit and I would take time out and write scripts, and that would take away from what I was doing on this channel. And right around that time, or a little bit before that time, Brian, because we were talking about him earlier, we were having a conversation, and I was, you know, explaining my struggle to him, and Brian said, dude, just focus on one. He said, just pick it. He said, if that one is something that you enjoy, just put it on the back burner. Don't even think about it for now, and just focus on what it is that's going to actually get you the results that you're after. Cause I kind of explained, you know, what I was wanting to do. And he said, just focus on that. And, you know, and that focus will help you get the results that you're after. So
that's why I have an eclectic channel, because I figure I can put up a playlist if there's something that I want to focus on, sort of like what you were saying of thinking about putting everything onto your channel. If there's something I want to kind of go off on and explore, I can put that up in the playlist. But then if I find that that's not really, it's burning me out, or I really don't want to, I can take the playlist down.
Sure. So, but on the flip side of that, though, you're also, you know, like the more that you can focus your content, and this is why, you know, everybody talks about, you know, the importance of having a niche. And the reason for that is because the more you focus in on a particular type of content, the more you are speaking to an audience. Right. So if you're saying, okay, I'm going to make this type of content, then you have that type of audience. And then I'm going to make this type of content, and then you have that audience. And then I'm going to make this type of content, you have that audience. The people that come in for this content, they don't care about the other content, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So it's really important, especially most important when you are just starting out, is that you do focus on something, and you keep making that type of content, and you don't really pollute it with the other stuff. Because, you know, like as an example, like I really would like to add like a vlog style version to my channel, right? Like a vlog series, but I'm not going to do that, at least right now, because it's outside of what my audience is actually there for. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you did explore the mobile Mondays, right, Nick? You were.
Yeah, I did. I did explore that a little bit because mobile videos, it's still under my umbrella.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So even though it is about mobile, it's still under the umbrella of creating videos for YouTube or for your marketing or whatever. So it still falls under that umbrella. But if I was going to do like a vlog, it would be completely unrelated unless I wrapped YouTube tips into the vlog somehow.
I got you. Can I ask one question? In what you were describing, how have you found, well, obviously we all want to be able to be super productive, and I'm struggling with that amount of productivity. You must have some hacks you found over the year that have helped you scale your productivity. Like, how have you found that you've changed in your process, or how it's evolved to get more output?
My hack is dedication. That's it. My hack is dedication. My hack is saying, okay, I'm going to upload a video, or I'm going to upload 2 videos a week.
Right.
No matter what happens.
Okay.
That's my hack. And as soon as I started doing that, your workflow and how everything comes together, all of that, you know, all of that naturally gets better and faster the more that you do it.
Yeah. So I have to totally agree with that, because I took like a little hiatus for various reasons for about 3 months, and just getting back into like the video I'm editing right now. It's, oh my gosh, if I had kept that flow going, at least, even if it was 1 video a week, I wouldn't be slogging through this one. I love the video, but I wouldn't be slogging through it as slowly as I am now, because there's a ton of edits in it.
Yeah. Do you find, Nick, that the consistency and the frequency directly scale? So if you go from like 1 to 2, you obviously looked at much more greater than a doubling of your subscribership, and sort of maybe you can explain how you've sort of got this nice kind of like as I guess they call it, hockey stick kind of growth, and
Well,
how you find that the growth engine is feeding on itself. If you could share the things that you've done to optimize or make, your channel, succeed this way, those would be great insights to share.
the very first thing was the commitment to it. Was saying,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to answer comments. I'm going to spend X amount of time per day answering comments. I'm going to spend X amount of time per week making sure that I'm putting up videos. I'm going to make sure that the content I'm putting out is great. And one of the first things that I did when I went back to that channel or back to the current channel, I should say, is I rebranded everything. And I said, okay, if I'm gonna do this, and I kind of
Mhm.
took that knowledge from working on all our questions. I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to rebrand everything.
Right.
And I'm going to, because of that branding, people are going to be able to recognize my stuff. So if it comes up in an end
Right.
card, if it comes up on their homepage, if it comes up in the related sidebar, they know it's mine. And if they are interested in the content I provide, then they can easily find my stuff. So I said, okay, I'm going to rebrand everything.
Yeah.
And that was step one. And I believe that made a humongous difference. And then outside of that, it was just delivering content that my target audience, it's knowing specifically, I'm going after people that are making videos for YouTube or for the internet in general.
Right.
So all of the content that I put up has to be specifically for those people. And because I'm making content for those people, I have to make my stuff look cooler
Right.
than a lot of the stuff that's out there, because that's what resonates with people that make videos. When you're teaching video and people look at your videos and it's not, they don't look at it and say, hey, this is great. Then you are selling yourself short, right?
Yeah.
If they look at your videos and they don't say, this looks great for somebody that teaches videos, then you're selling yourself short. But if they look at your videos and they say, wow, this looks fantastic,
Mhm.
then you're a step ahead.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, wow, this looks great. So they obviously know what they're talking about. So I'm going to hop on board.
Yeah. And I find that, all of us here, know the importance and significance of really doing a great job on the thumbnail, and
it's all of it.
Yeah, it's every.
It's
It's
all
like
of it.
it is that
YouTube
book
is
that's
a
going to
total
get
package.
people to take it off the shelf and view your, so to speak, view your video. And if
Yeah.
it's not there, it's just going to be not even browsed at. It'll just be like passed, and
It'll be
it's-
lost,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Brian and I talk a lot about the art of YouTubing. Because YouTubing is more than just uploading videos. It's getting your thumbnail game down, it's getting your video game down, it's getting the flow of your videos, it's getting how you interact with your community. There's like a whole
Cycle.
art around everything
Right.
that goes on YouTube, and learning that is what can make a huge difference in what it is that you're doing and the results that you're getting, more importantly.
Well, that's true. And with even if you have great branding and you're communicating with your subscribers, etc., if you're putting up videos that does not have good content or good quality content, value, right?
Mhm.
That's what I mean by quality. I mean, if it looks like it's just been thrown up there just to be thrown up there,
Yeah, yeah.
you're not going to get as many
You
subscribers.
can't hide if you're putting it out there.
Right.
Right. But on the
Exactly.
flip side of that coin, though, to play devil's advocate here, on the flip side of that coin, some people do just throw up horrible videos, but for whatever reason, because they're sharing them in the right place, or they have a large community on Facebook that kind of helps them push it or whatever, they put out stuff that is subpar, massively
Yeah.
subpar.
Yeah.
Right.
And it still goes great because of the actual value that they're providing. Like, there's a lot of fitness channels out there that, the audio quality is horrible, the video isn't that great, but
Right.
they're awesome, and they have a huge following because the value that
The
they're
value of the
providing to
content.
their viewers,
Right.
and that personal touch that they're giving their viewers is so massive.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are absolutely right, because as soon as I said that and then you started talking, I was like, I'm coming from the perspective of what we do, video work, business, etc. If we were to throw up a poor quality video because we're in business,
Yeah, that would.
then no one would want to do business with us.
Right.
Whereas, just as you said, people are more interested in using the trainer scenario. People are more interested in, can this trainer teach me what I need to do? They don't worry as much about whether the video quality, audio quality, all of that is good or not. They want to know, what are they getting from that trainer, and is it going to help me lose weight, build muscle, etc.
Definitely.
Right. And now on the flip side of that coin, to be devil's advocate again, on the flip side of that coin, if those same exact trainers leveled up their audio, leveled up how their imagery looked, and they took that extra visual and audio step, then everything would be even better for them, because people perceive quality things as quality, even though it might not be. So if your stuff looks and sounds great, in addition to providing massive amounts of value, you can't lose.
Okay.
It's a balancing act.
So Nick, if I were to say to you, what does the artist in you want to produce if you weren't producing specifically for your audience? I mean, of course you were enjoying and loving what you're doing, what you're producing, but are there some things that you go, wow, I really, like all our questions is obviously an area where you'd love to dive into. Can you share, do you have any of that sort of like artist versus like business mindset struggles when you're choosing your content?
If I want to create art, then I'll just make a video about it and leave it on my computer. But knowing the purpose of my channel, and what it is that I'm setting in motion, so to speak, I make videos specifically for my channel for that purpose. Like if I want to be an artist, I want to do something creative, then I'll either make it and leave it on my computer, or I'll create like another channel and just upload a few videos to it, or whatever, just to, so other people can see them. But for the most part, let the artist be the artist somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
And as far as the being the entrepreneur, like, make your videos for that, if that's what your personal goal is. If you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to use this as a platform to position myself, as an authority in this particular area, or I'm using this platform as a way to, like Naomi, as a way to, drum up business or whatever. If that's what you're using it for, then make every single piece of content you put in your channel towards that goal. You know what I mean? It's all geared towards that end result that you're trying to accomplish, because what you're doing, if you just want to put up the artist side of things, is you're polluting your lead generation, essentially.
Absolutely.
Though I think there's one YouTuber out there that does a really good job of a variety of areas, and that's Roberto Blake.
But here's the thing with Roberto, to jump in on this. It's still
creative.
Under the umbrella.
It's all under creative.
The umbrella of being a creative person. Like,
that's
these
what
are
I was going to say.
Creative people need to know, right? So it's all encompassed under helping creative people.
Right.
Yes.
And that's sort of why I did my channel as eclectic business and life, so that when I do throw in occasional life hacks, or hey, it's Friday, fun videos, that's part of the life part of my side of my channel.
What this is telling me is also that, the umbrella, you call it umbrella, Nick, so the niche or the umbrella, to everybody, it may be a little different. The question is it something that's cohesive enough that will attract an audience that you're trying to communicate with? So, I mean, that ultimately, I guess, will be an indicator or a success metric. Is how will are you developing a following with that scope of umbrella that you cast? And like you say, Roberto, his seems very broad brushed, but it's all about creating something awesome, and that skill level, it's at a level even just a bit higher than someone like me who's more focused on video creation skills. So I see there are different niches with different levels of scope, but they still work.
I just want to interject real quick here. Brian G in the chat said, the one thing that Roberto does that others do not is serious volume.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Right.
Dedication, because
that's right.
It's dedication. He said basically he just made that commitment. And that's what I was talking about earlier, saying, when you were asking, what I've done for the workflow or whatever, it's my hack is committing to actually, making sure that I get the uploads done, making sure there's quality content and all that. Roberto Blake, it's the same thing. He's committed to making sure that he gets those uploads up, and because of it, he's getting rewarded for it in a massive way.
Right.
Yeah. And so Nick, there's an idea for a new T-shirt. There's got to be some kind of dedication word in there somewhere, and to build that line. Start right now is part about dedication. So it's awesome, and that's quite useful. If I could shift now, we did talk about this briefly, the concept of community. So, Nick, how important is it for you? Like, I know you heavily participate in things like Tube Ritual, but there are other areas like Reddit and other sources that you participate in. And maybe you can share with us, how does, the smaller YouTuber, find their place there, and how to participate to help?
Value. It all comes back to value. If you lead with value, then you're fine. Like if you are entering a group of any kind, even in real life, you know what I mean? Like you don't walk up to people and say, hey, what can you do for me?
Right.
Hey, I'm Nick. What can you do for me? You know what I mean? You introduce yourself, you have a conversation, if you're, like if you go to a networking meeting in your local community and you don't know anybody, you walk in there, everybody's sitting down at their table at, whatever place you go to, or they order breakfast, or whatever, and you just have a normal conversation. You become you listen to what other people are on the internet. We'll do this in internet terms. You listen to what people are posting, or you see what people are posting, you respond to their posts, you post your own stuff. People always have questions about everything, so if you are knowledgeable in an area that they have questions about, you start helping people. That's the best way to not only go into but get a foothold on a group, is provide massive amounts of value, and be legit too, and instead of providing value and saying, okay, like I'm gonna give this, and then at the very end of it I'm gonna say, well, hey, here's all this information, and make sure to come and check out my website. You just completely diluted your
Right.
You know what I mean? So just go in and be genuine with people, and just give value, share the knowledge that you have, help people out. And by doing that, people appreciate it, and people can see if people's motives are, hey, this person's trying to get something out of this in return, or this person is just, massively paying it forward. People can tell.
Yeah. So like,
That's very true.
A lot of, there's a lot more than far beyond just creating content and uploading, in terms of connecting with people and your growth to build a following. And
one thing I recommend too is when people are subscribing to your channels, right? Because we have this this natural thing that happens. Like when people subscribe, it's like, oh, hey, this number happened, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I got 5 new numbers today, right? Yeah. But one thing that I did for a long time, and I still do it, is I just can't do it for every single person because of the growth. But when people would subscribe to my channel, I would go in and I would look at their channels. So I would say, okay, well, this person is watching my stuff. What kind of content are they making? And by doing that, you find, like when YouTube loads up their homepage, they recommend all this stuff to you. But man, if you start looking in your subscriber list, holy cow, it opens up like a whole new world of YouTube, because you start watching some of these other videos, and then YouTube starts suggesting all of this other stuff to you based on you watching their videos. And man, it just completely opens up a whole new world to you. But, going to your subscribers, seeing them on camera, seeing the type of content that they make, interacting on their stuff.
Well, the other thing that I've been doing lately, and because I'm a small YouTuber, I can do it, that I do what you said, just said. I do go occasionally to their channels. But once, how YouTube will tell you who your new subscribers are, I'll send that person a individual list, and I can do a message. I can do that because I'm getting 2 or 3 subscribers a day or something like that. So I'll send them and I'll say, hey, Liz, I just wanted to say thank you very much for stopping by the channel, and I appreciate your subscribing. If there's anything you are looking for specifically, just let me know. I've checked out your channel. It looks really neat, blah, blah, blah. Make it short and sweet, but just, hey, thank you. And
yes.
I get a influx because they end up telling people, oh, she really communicates with me.
But here's the thing though with that, is you level it up, because, okay, by doing that, you're still keeping everything within your realm. Right. Like you're not crossing over into what they are doing. You're not having an actual interest in what they're doing. But if you go to their videos and you leave a comment on their video, something that that doesn't say, hey, come back to me and let me know, what type of content I can make.
No, I do that.
Their channel. And you say, oh, hey, I just watched your video. This is fantastic. Good work.
Right.
Or,
yeah, exactly. I do that. Probably not as much as I should. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying, in
1,000
addition,
times more powerful. a
Okay.
1,000 times more powerful
Okay.
than
I've found myself that just commenting on like you say, if somebody subscribes to my channel, I go check out their channel, and
Right.
if I like it, I'm definitely in. And it's amazing how much connection you get by participating in other
Yeah.
channels. Like I remember I put a few comments on some Gary V videos, and someone referenced in one of my comments, they found me through a comment I threw on there, just out of curiosity to check out your channel. So it's
Right.
actually a great way for, it's almost like a distribution technique, your participation.
Yes.
Which,
Right.
which
Yes.
I was going to say, I thought that'd be a good segue into asking. So what kind of things do you use, or what's your philosophy on distributing, using your mail list and you know, publishing in Facebook and Reddit and other things that you do?
Nowadays, I do hardly any distribution at all. I'll put it on Twitter usually. Sometimes I might add something to Facebook. Every now and then I'll send something out in my email list. But for the most part, like everything that's happening now is all, you know, from, you know, a year's worth of positioning videos and
Mhm.
you know, making content that add values to people. So YouTube is basically
Pushing for you.
self-generating everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But before that,
Yeah.
You've
you know,
built
I
a
would share-
reputation.
So this gets to,
and before that though, I would share it on Twitter, of course, and I would go into any relevant Facebook group, and the same thing with all our questions. I would go into any relevant Facebook group, any relevant Google Plus group, any relevant subreddit, and
Mhm.
I would you know, I would post links there, and I would always, of course, leave a description about what the video was about and
Right.
frame the wording in a way
Yeah.
that it's actually going to help you if you watch this video.
Well, saying
So
that
for you,
too.
for both of you guys, since you do video stuff also,
Yeah.
you know, the same thing, because, you know, video marketers, you know, they, you know, there's a nice handful of places they hang out on the internet.
Yes.
And because that's a good fit for your content, you
Mhm.
know, going to a YouTube, you know, watch group, that doesn't do anything. But if you're putting your videos in front of people that are, you know, wanting to get into video marketing or wanting to get into being a VA or, you know, whatever, then
Right.
then you're a perfect fit for that particular audience. So your stuff is more likely to be, you know, welcomed there, instead of looking at like, you know, hey, spammer, get out of here, we're not interested in your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I have I just thought about this because I think it's a very interesting question. I have a theory that, well, it's a feeling anyways. My channel is starting to move more quickly now, and I almost feel like, oh, okay, I hit 500 subs, and now the YouTube spigot is being opened a little bit more, and then I start to see, oh, look, it must be that now I'm getting more views on the rest of my videos because they're showing up and suggested more. People are
Right.
discovering my content. So it's almost like people have to hang in. And, you know, this is why I say it's so different than people coming from the corporate world or from a job into the YouTube space.
Mhm.
It's like you don't know the people out there that you're, like, you know, trying to connect
Affecting
with, and
and
not
helping.
until they start to surface and materialize, it's really a lonely space to be. And that's
is.
why I find, like, it's like, oh, I feel so good now that some of that really hard work and the production and the focus and in the video set I've done with Camtasia and things like that, things have started to take off. I've got, you know, several very high, if not top ranking videos in some of the things I'm doing. And
Well, that's
and
probably another
it feels,
lesson for, that's
Yeah.
probably another lesson that you just said for the small YouTubers out there like us, is that a lot of small YouTubers get in thinking this is going to be easy. I'm going to be a big YouTuber in no time. It's hard work. It takes a lot of time. And if you hang in there, it eventually will grow. It's just a matter of hanging in there and doing what you want, getting the message you want out there to find the people
Back
who want
to
to
what
hear
you
your
had
message.
said.
In addition to just hanging in there, though, you also have to, like, you have to design it. You know
Right,
what I mean?
exactly.
Because in addition to just hanging in there, you
That's
also
part
have
of the
to say,
hard work.
Yeah, you have to say, you know, these are the people I'm going after. This is the type of content that they're looking for. These are the places that they're hanging out. These are the problems they're having.
Yeah, that's
You know,
all of the hard work.
and then start going after that.
Exactly.
Because just hanging in there, you know, like you can put up, you know, bad content for years. You know what I
Right.
mean? For you know, 10 years, and it still won't get traction. But if
Right.
you are, you know, designing your success, so to speak, on
Right.
YouTube, then you can, you know, you can actually create that momentum. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like what Gord was saying. It was all the hard work that he was putting in. to it. And he hung in with the hard work
Right.
and kept doing it and kept doing it, knowing that eventually it would start growing. And once he hit that 500 mark, as he said, the spigot started opening because he hung in with the hard work.
Right, and it's expecting a payoff that people shouldn't have in the beginning, I feel.
Right.
They should be more, like Nick says, dedicated to what you're doing, and then stay in alignment. And, you know, just, you know, we got to believe in yourself more. And believe me, I had plenty of lonely times and struggles, you know, and getting the inspiration and coaching from people like Brian and Nick, you know, has really meant a lot. And that's why I find the sense of community is so critical for the small YouTubers, so that they have a forum to exchange their challenges with and hear from people that are at different levels and what they're going through. Because, like, you know, I'm sure, Nick, you know, because your growth has happened so fast, you know, you couldn't have predicted where you were, when you were, where that next big boost up was going to happen, right? And then, you know, it's easy with the rear view mirror to rationalize too, but that's not what we have in the present moment.
Well, but what you do have in the present moment, is the people that I'm trying to serve, they are looking for this kind of content. What kind of videos can I make that are going to rank the highest, or that I can also have a chance of not only ranking in a top position in YouTube, but I can have a chance to actually ranking it on Google as well, or in the other search engines. Like, what can I create that is going to generate that, instead of, you know, just making, you know, hey, I'm just going to make this type of video because it's the type of stuff that the people that are into my content are interested in. It's what can I make that they're interested in that's going to help them, but it's also going to help me because I'm going to be able to rank that video, and I'm going to be able to use that video as a long-term traffic source into my content.
And one of the things too, where we were talking about communication, a lot of my training videos, I'll end on my Camtasia training videos especially, saying, if there's something you would like to learn how to do, just let me know, you know, subscribe and let me know. And subscribers have asked me questions of, how do you do this? And that's one of the videos I'm working on right now, of how do you do this? How do I do this effect? And then when I put it up, the training video up there, I'll say, you know, Minnie Mouse just asked this question and this is how you do it. Well, other subscribers say, oh, wow, my channel just got a mention because I asked how to do this. So I mentioned it, the person at the beginning, they asked about this training, here's how I do it. And at the end I say, I hope, Minnie, that this is what you were looking for if you're interested. So that's another way of keeping that communication, just as you said. And it also helps you find out, by asking those questions and answering them via a video, it also helps build your knowledge of what your subscribers are really wanting.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great way to show appreciation for your audience, and in another way of doing it. I'm habitually writing sometimes longer answers in my responses in comments, and I'm thinking, you know, maybe that should be a video. And I do ask the people when they engage that way, hey, is there anything else you're looking for that I can help you with? Feel free to suggest that. And you know, which
is awesome. But on the flip side of that, you also want to make sure that you can title that video in a way and keyword it in a way that's going to generate traffic for your channel long term too. I mean, of course, you know, make the videos just to, you know, help people out if you know it's a common problem that people are having. But in addition to that, just try to make sure that you are, you know, writing the title and the description, doing your tags, and basically framing that whole video around something that you can rank for that can continue to drive traffic to your to your
I'll take the question, and then I'll do the SEO research in YouTube and my TubeBuddy of how to best frame that question into search engine optimization for that video. Then I'll do all of that work first before I even start answering and coming up with the script for the video.
For sure.
Because they may have asked the question one way, but the SEO says to present it in another way.
Right. So this brings another interesting perspective that I wanted to share, and that is, I have this theory, well, call it that once you get your subscribership to a certain nice elevated level, you know, something much less than where Nick's at now, because he's already there, you have more latitude in the flexibility of your titling for your videos to attract the audience, because you're going to get enough just from subscriber base of people watching your videos that it's going to also generate juice from YouTube to show to other people. Whereas the smaller YouTuber, and this is something, you know, I learned so well from Brian, try to directly you know, title keyword match, don't stray, you know, because while you're, you know, small, you want to be found in the search terms that people are most commonly looking for. But there becomes a point after which you have a nice subscriber base. I guess it's in the algorithm and how they balance these things out, that you'll gain more latitude in being able to title things. Because I often say, you know, I would never title this way, but I'm doing it because it's going to help me to get more results based on where I'm at. Do you have any thoughts on that, Nick?
I think that it's important to optimize your stuff for search regardless of where you're at in the process.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you're optimizing your videos, then in addition to any push that you're getting from YouTube and their browse features or suggested or whatever, and in addition to that push, and you're still ranking for something that can still continue to feed content.
I think
right?
that's
because
true.
That exponential growth that happens, it happens because you're continually putting up videos that rank. And so you're constantly, you know, every single video is feeding people in. It might be 50 people a day. It might be 10 people a day. It might be 1,000 people a day, but it's, you know, every single one of those videos, it just keeps feeding in that same number of new people into your channel every single day. So
I think that's true because
ranking them is extremely important.
I think that's true because I know I've read several articles and seen articles about how some of these major, without really naming any names, some of these major, huge YouTubers who made it really big because of one or two videos, and then people just started following them, and they did not do any of the search engine optimization work for their videos. And then all of a sudden they're crying because YouTube changed algorithms or whatever, and all of a sudden they had a huge drop in viewership or subscribers, etc. But that's because they just threw a title on, didn't put a description in there, didn't even have tags. So once YouTube changed a little thing, because they didn't have didn't do the SEO work to it, then everything fell. If you have the SEO, like you said, Nick, if you have the SEO work behind every video that you do, then you're going to be okay.
So this is a great
and it's if you don't mind me jumping in here real quick, Gord. One thing that I want to stress also is right now, you know, YouTube is about watch time. You know, right now, you know, it's important to make sure that you're ranking videos for search. It'll always be that way as far as making sure that you rank your videos. But when you're planning out your content and you're figuring out your strategy of how you're going to structure your videos and things like that, like having things in place that tickle every single aspect of what's going on YouTube kind of future proofs you. So if if they make a change of some kind and they say, okay, well, you know what, now for a little bit, we're going to say that we're going to do watch time, and we are also going to use engagement as a very heavy metric all of a sudden, then if you are already gearing your videos to generate engagement, then if a change like that happens, you're already fine because you're already tickling that metric. You know what I mean? So if you create your videos in a way and you craft everything that you're doing in a way that, you know, you're ranking your video, you're optimizing your videos for search, you're structuring everything in a way to get engagement, you are, you know, you're instructing people to share your videos and that kind of stuff, you know, like whatever way they change things in the future, you're still going to be okay because you've already got all these things in place.
And that's why I think things like some of the checklists that they provide in TubeBuddy, for example, Brian's one for uploading and all the details is so valuable. And those are like getting the fundamentals, you know, pristinely done. So that, that's like bulletproofing yourself, you know, if you follow that kind of list. And maybe, Nick, can you tell us, like, you now are on TubeBuddy regularly once a month, right, as well? And sort of tell us a bit about your
every month.
First Wednesday of every month.
Yeah, first Wednesday of every month.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So I think I saw your first one a while back, and there's just so much to watch and cover from your favorite influencers out there.
I know.
It's impossible to actually keep up, but that's the thing. I mean, you know, so now I was going to ask you about, you know, collaborations, and I know this is often asked, and, you know, I hate to use this word, but it's like in the
Hi,
corporate,
Patel.
in the corporate and job world, you know, there's status and jobs, bosses, you know, peers, people under you, above you, etc. I almost feel that the collab concept and recommendations that some people make sort of reflect a structure based on achievement. Now, I get that in some respects, but
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why now.
And I just wanted to ask that, you know, like I always believe that there's people that are going to be below you, at your level, and above, and, you know, within reason, you know, you function, you know, because I believe in the nature of giving and helping people in general, but and you know, doing something in some way, is it detracting from you? And so I was hoping you could elaborate on that, your perspective on collabs.
The reason that there is, I'll just call it a barrier to entry, so to speak, on collaborations is because there's a learning curve that comes with collaborations. There's a learning curve that comes with YouTube. And the reason that it's more difficult for bigger channels to collaborate with smaller channels is because in a lot of cases, not every case, because, you know, people do things differently and we all know different things, but in a lot of cases, the smaller channels are small because they haven't learned how to, you know, put the things in place to help them grow, right? So there's not only do you have that to work with, to where if you do a collaboration with a smaller channel where they're asking you, you know, hey, because this has happened to me, is, you know, hey, you know, I'm getting ready to upload this video and I'm not sure what to do for the keywords, right? And it's like, well, hey, you know, we're doing a collaboration, and that means that I work on, like, we do the videos together, but that means that you do the research on your own, I do the research on my own, and we do that type of thing,
Figure a way
right?
to sew it together, and
yeah, that's sort
it
of
involves
like
a certain degree of maturity, is what you're saying, Nick, right?
Yeah, well, it's experience, right? Because it's everything goes a million times smoother. And it's like this with anything in life. Everything goes a million times smoother if you're working with people that have experience versus you are working with people that don't have experience. Because, like, when you go through it and you learn all of these things, you know, it creates a particular skill set or a knowledge set that goes along with it, right?
Right.
And, you know, along the process, when smaller people haven't, or smaller channels haven't figured out some of that stuff yet, then it can put the extra weight on the bigger channels. You know what I mean? As far as
more work on the big channels.
Yeah, it's more work on the bigger channel, because the thing with collaborations is it's supposed to be a complementary thing. Right. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be a, hey, you pretty much do everything and train me on how to do this. You know, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be, you know, you carry your weight, I'm going to carry my weight. We're going to complement each other, and you know, and see what happens from that, instead of, you know, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then hopefully they're gonna teach me how to do everything in the process. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's the reason for that. Is that's one, and number two is, you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, people do keep an eye on subscriber numbers. They do keep an eye on engagement numbers and things like that. And with a larger channel, the reason that there is that gap as far as who they'll collaborate with is because if two channels collaborate with each other, let's say there's a channel with 100 subscribers and there's a channel with 100,000 subscribers, and they collaborate.
Yeah.
Obviously, that video is for the benefit of the person with 100 subscribers. Right. Now, on the flip side of that coin, if the person with 100 subscribers brings a particular value to the person with 100,000 subscribers, be it, you know, hey, I got this huge email list that I can promote us on, or, you know, hey, I have this huge Twitter following or this Facebook group or something, to where I can kind of, you know, help promote everything, or, you know, to where it becomes it doesn't have to be equal, but to where it becomes, you know, more of a mutual benefit,
reciprocating, in a beneficial way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the reason that you run into those barriers. Like, you know, for example, if I reached out to you know, a lot of big YouTubers, they're not gonna work with me either, because, you know, there's certain things that they've learned and that they've had to put into place in order to get to where they are that I haven't experienced yet, or I haven't been through yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the benefit that I would be able to give them is nothing compared to, and compared to the benefit that they can give me.
There's a question
It's the
here.
same exact thing.
There's a question here saying, when doing a collaboration where one person films the meat and you do the segue to it, what is the best way to transfer the file?
Dropbox or either Dropbox or Google Drive is usually fantastic.
That's what I do.
Yeah, like things like that, for example, right? Even that part of it, like like I've done collaborations to where I've had to go through that process. Hey, how do I even get this stuff to you? You know what I mean? So
there's even free service.
That part of it, but because my part of my channel is actually teaching people anyway,
of course,
it's not that big of a deal, and I usually don't mind. But but there's also been situations to where it's been a little bit of a more work than I was anticipating putting into it.
Sure. Right. And there are also that's a shared file serving kind of environment, but there's also there's free mechanisms like WeTransfer if you're just going to pass files. Sure. To like a couple of gigabytes. So there are a lot of methods, but I appreciate that. There's a whole process to everything. And, I liked what you said, Nick, to show that, everybody's coming from a different place. I was just trying to identify that, there are people that are small and growing and, they want to seek, collaboration opportunities as they're growing too. And
sure.
Sometimes it may be just the value of their content, and they may be an up and comer, and someone may be inspired to want to give them that chance or that break. And
sure. That's kind of there's other elements too. Like for example, like like when you are like, because I get a lot of collaboration requests, right? And
sure.
And what I look at is one, what is their channel like? Like what type of content are they making? How much effort are they putting into their channel? How does everything look? When I first land on their channel page, what does it look like? When I watch their videos, what do they look like? What type of personality do they have? Is their personality going to be a good match?
We must have passed the test, Gord.
Is their personality going to be a good match for the people that watch my videos and that are used to my personality or into me, to where it'll be an effective collaboration to where people will actually transfer over to them as well. How much engagement are they getting? I'll look at their social blade and see, what their growth has been in the past, what their growth is right now. I'll go and I'll look at a bunch of their videos and see in the comments as far as, what type of engagement are they getting? Because, there's a guy that I know that has 50,000, actually, I think he's got like 52,000 subscribers on his channel.
Yeah.
But every time he uploads a video, he'll get like 2 comments.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
So like in his situation, because he just doesn't interact with the community, and he's like abandoned his channel many times and, stuff like that. But he's got a lot of subscribers because he's got like, I think like 1,200 videos up there or something like that.
Okay.
And he put them up back in the day. So it's just kind of accumulated. But he doesn't have that engagement with his audience. So as an example, like if he wanted to do a collaboration, you might look at him and say, wow, he's got 50,000 subscribers. This is going to be great. But in reality, he might send, 10 people over there where you're expecting a big flood because of his subscriber count. So if you're going to collaborate with somebody, for the sake of your own benefit, look into the engagement that they're getting on their videos, look into their growth, be picky, what I mean? Because, when you're putting people on your channel, that's also saying something about you.
Absolutely.
So, be picky about who it is that you're going to let on your channel. Make sure that the personalities match, make sure that the information that they are sharing and their motives are in a similar place to, to what it is that you're doing.
And everything that you just said goes to the small YouTuber. Also, when they're going to approach a larger YouTuber, make sure that you've done the work. Make sure that your channel's up to par. Make sure that you are communicating with your subscribers and commenting in the comments, etc. And also make sure that when you approach the larger YouTuber, that you have a plan. It's not that you are demonstrating to the larger YouTuber, I will be doing the thumbnails. You don't have to worry about any of this. I have this already planned out. So when you approach the larger YouTuber, you already have a structure of, hey, this is why I'm approaching you. This is the amount of work I'm going to be putting into it. So that YouTuber knows that you're not just coming off a fly off the wall saying, hey, help me.
Sure.
That you're willing to do the work.
It's almost
another thing that happens too is people will hit you up and they'll say, hey, I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in a collaboration. and then you go and you know, check out their stuff or whatever, and you're like, you know, hey, they make decent stuff, and then you reply, and then, you know, 2 months will go by. And then they'll hit you up again, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you know, you know, I just wanted to check and see if you're still interested in the collaboration." It's like, you know, like, why, you clearly just showed me that you are not interested, really. You know, it sounded good when you sent the email, but, you know, you're not really interested in doing a collaboration. But on the flip side of all of this, you know, like, also keep in mind, like, you know, in addition to, you know, because most of what we just talked about was slanting everything to your own benefit. But on the flip side of it, you know, also look at it, you know, in a way of, you know, what kind of information can I give their audience that they don't currently give their audience? Or, you know, like, what type of additional value can I provide to them? What type of things can I do for them that can also help them, you know, with their audience? It can help them, you know, help their viewers in some way too.
Well, that's like number one rule of any type of marketing. What can you do to help somebody else?
Right. Yeah. And another thing I want to mention too about collaborations, because my brother, he started a channel recently, and because the content that he makes in the niche that he's operating in it's really good content for that niche, right? And because of it, it's already gained attention. And he had a guy with like 5,000 subscribers just do a shout out video of him. It was like the top 5 channels under 1,000 subscribers or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you know, like, what I'm trying to get to with that is, by making great content and focusing on great content, just that alone can also open a ton of doors for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's funny how, if you're not in the space of the internet or in YouTube, or a YouTuber, and you're in the corporate life, and, you know, when you need a new job or you're exploring connections, it's resume, it's like, you know, who you are, you're actually having like to package up on a piece of paper or in a letter or something and send to someone. Here, everything
it's packaged
you produce
on your channel.
Is that, what's that? Say that again, Nick.
I said it's packaged on your channel here.
Yeah, it's like it's out there for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
and that's what makes it important also, you know, to go back to the thing about the type of content you're putting on your channel. You know, that's also why it's important to keep in mind you know, specifically the type of content that you're putting up, and keeping your end goals in mind. Because, you know, like, if your channel is made for one type of content, but you're also adding all of this other stuff, then that can also hurt you in the long run, because people will look at your channel and say, well, it's supposed to be about this, but there's also all this other stuff in here. And, you know what I mean? So it can kind of, you know, make that it could hurt you as far as, you know, collaborations and things like that are concerned.
Right. And I found, you know, I'm 57 years young, and a lot of thinking for me.
Congratulations, man. That's a good run. That's a good run.
Yeah, it's a good run so far. I've had to change my mindset. I mean, at first, you know, I didn't start to work my own Facebook page until last year, and I just, you know, shunned, like, you know, privacy and I mean, I wanted privacy and very little communication, and, you know, all these fears around, you know, putting stuff out there. And now, you know, and associated with that was, like, you know, not putting myself on camera. So now starting to let go and live more and allow more experience to happen and be more out there, you know, shows people your authenticity and who you are. And without participating, you can't really become known. And to me, that's what it's about, and figuring out how to become more known in marketing yourself and you know, showing the world what you can do and what you have to offer. And that was a bit of a you know, a shift for me from just, you know, having worked in corporates and consulting and IT, and, you know, how everything is sort of managed at different layers there. You don't do this here in this space, you know, we pretty much do it all, right?
Yeah.
And so that makes it, you know, different for people to adapt to. And I'm just wanting to say that it's all possible. And that's why, you know, again, to me, the sense of community helps facilitate all of that. So I thought, you know, we've actually been on an hour and 20 minutes, which is awesome.
That's right. I'm good if you guys are good.
And
I'm good.
I want to apologize to those watching that I have not been very good with the chat role. For some reason, I'm more focused.
Thanks, Nez. Nez, real quick, Nez is saying that this is a phenomenal live stream. Everyone, bravo, kudos to you all. Thank you, Professor Nez, for the positive, kind words.
Thank you very much. And I've been delinquent.
And Lay Mystique also says that she must be talking about you guys, because she's talking about being gorgeous. I think it's up to Naomi and Gord.
Well,
I
thank
think
you,
you can
Danielle,
include
for those
yourself in
kind
that.
comments for all of us. That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm just saying because this is my first experience doing this,
And you're doing
and for
fantastic.
Naomi.
This is a great stream. It's all I think.
I think there's a
You
lot
know,
of
I
great
think the
information
flow
that
of
came
this.
out.
What do you guys think? I think the flow of this has been fantastic so far.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I've really
Yeah, me too.
enjoyed your hosting it. I think this should be. I think you've talked before, Gord, about doing podcasts and more
Well,
of these. I think you're natural at this. I think you're
well,
very natural at this.
I have a very inquisitive nature and I love to learn. And I thought, what a great way to help, the people that I want to connect with and the knowledge I want to share is to
Right.
get great people like you guys to come out and have another way to bring more knowledge to them. And, someday I'll have a lot more subscribers and be able to attract more, other people. But, I'm
Right.
so grateful that you guys were into doing this, and I think I'm hoping that a lot of people benefit, and it'd be great to hear some feedback. So Naomi, we can hear, and Nick, that people found this valuable and that we should do more. Suggest other topics or areas related to the niches that we're
Right.
focused in, and that would be great. I mean, I've really
And I think
Yeah.
one of, trying to keep it coming back a little bit to the small YouTubers, just
Sure.
what we're doing right now is we were, both of us, since we're small and we've never done a live stream, and then saying, oh, should we ask Nick, and, will he, come on? Don't be afraid to step out of a comfort zone.
Yes.
You're not going to grow, you're not going to learn unless you step out of your comfort zone. And you are going to fall at some point. And all you do is you pick yourself back up and go, okay, I learned, this is what I learned from this. I'm going to keep moving, because neither you nor I, Gord, ever thought probably 6 months ago that we would be doing a live stream.
Yeah, and actually I have two good points to make here. First, Professor Nez posted a video last night, and he talks about the resistance that we have. And I think, if anybody gets a chance, they should, because this is very much, associated with the topic.
He
that
shares
you're
a ton
describing.
of really good information on his
He
channel.
does.
So anybody that is not familiar with Professor Nez,
Yes.
go
Yeah.
to YouTube search bar and search Professor Nez, because he has some awesome stuff over there. And his voice, man, I love his
I
voice.
know.
Yeah.
Man, I love his voice.
And the other thing I wanted to say, Naomi and I actually met in person. It's
Right.
not just through webcam, at what was called Camptasia in the fall,
Right.
at the end of September, beginning of October. And do you remember that when we were getting ready to leave, we talked about, let's do a video of the two of us together, and we were all
Right.
sort of like anxious about it, wanting to do it, to jump out of our comfort zone. And then,
Right.
but I guess, the whirlwind of the ending of the
Right.
conference kind of thing, we sort of missed it.
Because
but we
you were
mentioned
very
it
excited
after.
about the stabilizer that you had.
Yeah.
And
So
you
that
wanted
was
to
like,
use it.
and I have a habit of getting stuck in the gear and using
Right.
that as an excuse if I'm not ready. In fact, what Nick did to me yesterday was just profound, because I'm a master at resisting. Start right now.
Right.
So the funny thing was, I was looking for every excuse not to jump in. So it was like, well,
Right.
wait, Nick, Naomi's not here. I think she's at the doctor. Well, that's okay. Don't you want to get through these things? And we should share it because it'll be of value to
Right.
the people. I go, but Nick, I have to think about this. And it's like, no, as Nick's shirt says, start right now. And
Thank you for kicking him in the butt, Nick.
yeah, and I'm going like, wow.
He was resistant. He was definitely resistant.
And then I get my hands wrapped from Professor Nez later on, saying to me, how many times have I told you just got to do it right now? And it took Nick Nimmin 2 seconds.
Right.
I said, well, the proximity of time to when I was going live to host something for real was so close. And yes,
Right.
Nick, you have there's a nature about you that I think is so special. You make everybody feel relaxed and calm and welcome.
Comfortable.
And that's like a really, great character aspect of you. And I just wanted to share that with everybody, because
Thank you.
I Nick helped me with my branding. I don't know how long ago it is now when we did that, Nick, but it's at least 6 months, right? Somewhere in that
Yeah,
area.
it's been a while.
Yeah, and just the way he handled me in client relationship, Like I highly recommend to people to use Nick and Tuber Tools for their for graphics work and things that they want to do, because he's just great in the relationship. And
I'm glad you mentioned the Tuber Tools, because I do my own graphics and my own graphic work, and I can figure it out. And I've seen some of Nick's work, and it's like, oh, I like that. I'll figure out how to do it myself, and I do it myself, but it takes me time, obviously, to do it. If you go to tubertools.com and you don't have any graphics or design background, I mean, you go to tubertools.com and it's already done for you.
Yeah.
And he's already got it done. You don't have to. I do it because I enjoy doing it. I don't care how long I get enjoyment. Yeah. I have an artistic bent, so I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But if I didn't enjoy doing it, I would be going to Tuber Tools. I would be going, I want this, I want that, I want this.
Yeah. And this
sure.
Then this brings us to a great point. And I wanted to ask you this, Nick, because I myself can do the graphics and things, but I said, you know what? I need to start getting better at my focus if I'm going to do what I'm doing. So I said, you know what? I want to connect with Nick and work with it, because he put this whole concept of a branding package together. So what I wanted to ask you, Nick, was, what have you had to change in the way you do things, in terms of, do you have anybody to delegate stuff to? Do you outsource anything? How is the way you manage your work? Or have you let go of some things? Or, as new things come into your, like you're doing podcast with Owen, you're doing other collabs and other things. So time is taking.
Yeah, it depends on what's going on. It depends on, hey, Alan in the house, Alan from AM Details popping in. What is going on, Alan? Ryan G. Johnson saying, stake your claim, amplify your message. Yeah, for the actual work, most of it I do myself, but if I get really, really busy, I do have somebody that helps me with that. But for the most part, I take care of it myself, because I like that, well, I like to actually talk to the people that I'm working with.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with my online business management and VA business. I tried at one time having someone help me out, etc. I really don't like not having the direct connection all the time with my clients. Mm-hmm. So I'm sort of the same way. If I, got to the point I needed to bring someone on, I probably would, but I like the one-on-one connection with my clients.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking
the piano girl in the house too. I got to give a shout out to her.
Awesome.
She's in live streams all the time. She is an extremely talented. If you guys are not familiar with her, man, she can play the piano like it's just incredible.
Her channel
absolutely
is great.
incredible.
I love her work.
Give her a shout out here real quick.
Absolutely.
Piano Girl in the house. Check out her channel at the Piano Girl.
I have to check it out.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like you can just put a playlist on and just go about whatever it is that you're doing and listen to it. I mean, she's just absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking about, in terms of, I recalled Casey Neistat talking about editing, and he says he doesn't like to farm out his editing, because that's what part of his artistic expression is, in packaging up and creating. He has a vision and what he's going to do. And sometimes he says I remember him saying on a Lewis House podcast one day that he spends between 4 to I think 11 hours, as much as that, on a daily episode to edit. And I'm thinking, because that's what defines your, a part of the artistic part of what you're doing. But then you have people like Evan Carmichael, who produce a show where he's posting many times a day. And I think now...
Yeah, he does like 3 times a day, I believe, right?
He produces 80 videos a month. He has a team of researchers and editors, and he scales at like a crazy level.
Oh, okay.
So
he's doing the video work. He's doing the recording or the...
And he does a lot of batch.
Camera. He's being the on-camera person, and everybody behind is doing all the editing.
But I think it's also about the nature of the show, right?
Right.
So like he's doing a lot of top 10 lists and sharing knowledge bombs from all kinds of people. So it's really involves a lot of research and compilation of material to package up, and then he sort of wraps it and shares it. But I mean, he evolved to this, and I so that's why I was asking that about delegation. Like, Nick, do you ever see farming out editing or something like that? Like, or is it like
editing? Probably not. Yeah. That's also a fun thing for me is, like recording it is one thing, like I'll get charged when I record a video. Like I get pumped up in the process of recording a video. So like after the video is finished, I'm still like pumped up. Right. So So that part of it I really enjoy. And then when it actually goes into the computer, that's where I actually have the most fun with it. Because just trying to get the edit to flow right. And then if you watch my videos, you sometimes I'll add in like little funny bits or just like little cut-ins or like whatever. Like for me, like those little cut-ins and the little things that are outside of the normal video, like for me, that's where all the fun is.
And that's probably the most work is doing those things too, right, Nick? I love those. That's probably a lot of the work, the cut-ins, because you're doing special effects and neat things. And I really enjoy those aspects that you put into the videos when you do.
They're
I'm not
a lot
expecting it, and there it is. You know what I mean? And it's fun. And
I did like a small little like rap segment with Brian D. Johnson on a collab video that we did, like like it was just a normal video, and then all of a sudden it goes into like a rap beat with Brian D. Johnson. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that's very cool. So I've pretty well covered everything conceptually that I wanted to bring forth and to share, and I think we brought a lot of great information to the people in terms of their exploration and growth experience in YouTube endeavors. And I'm grateful that you both had fun too, and I wanted to ask a couple of like closing type questions or just curiosities for people. So first, Nick, what's up next that's something maybe we don't know about, or something that you want to share, whatever's cool that's coming forth for Nick, for your fans?
Tubersouls.com. Within the next few days, I should have the members area open for that.
Ooh, awesome.
Oh. So basically, like right now, if you go to tubertools.com, I only have the storefront where you can buy the items individually. But within the next few days, you're going to be able to get everything in the store, in addition to 3 times weekly updates and a bunch of other stuff.
Is this your membership, the VIP membership?
Yeah, it's a whole area. Basically, I took all the stuff that's on the outside, added a bunch more stuff, and made it an actual membership area to where it's getting updates and things like that for people to make videos, to make the whole workflow and the whole process a lot easier. Save people time and money.
So it'll be one fee or a monthly fee or something like that, and to get everything.
And then you'll
monthly fee, you get everything that's in the store plus a bunch of other things as well.
That's really cool.
And I'm going to be doing a monthly training video in there also.
Oh wow.
That's
so where I share some stuff that's outside of my outside of the content that I share on YouTube.
Right.
Okay.
Now that's going to be very valuable.
And that's definitely. Naomi, do you want to share something that's forthcoming? And I know you have a very cool video that you're just about to release. I'm excited for, because you teased me.
I'm very excited
yesterday.
I showed you a tiny little clip of that. I always like to see if I can figure out a very unique way of doing something in Camtasia. And this video that I'm about to produce, hopefully by tomorrow or Tuesday, was from a subscriber who asked, how do I do this? But I'm really
you're
excited
accountable right now. Tuesday, everyone, it's out by Tuesday.
Right.
Dedication.
Yep. Well, as soon as our live stream is over, it's like, okay, let me go eat something and I'm back to editing. Okay. But I'm going to try and get back to uploading at least once a week to my Top Shelf VA channel. And also, if anybody is out there who has thought about wanting to start a small, becoming self-employed or starting their own small business, I have the free self-employed business startup kit.
And the links for that are all down below as well, on how to contact Nick and Tuber Tools and myself and my Facebook and other things. So there's some goodies down in the description notes.
Exactly. So feel free to check that out. It's free. If you get something out of it, you can donate. If you don't donate, it was my way. So many people have helped me throughout my life and through, in my business. I mean, just, a personal aside, there was a point in my life that I literally had 65 cents and I was $20,000 in debt. I didn't have to, go
That would
bankrupt
be
or anything.
negative $20,000.65. Or
Yeah.
actually that would be negative 19,000, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause you're positive
And
in the 65.
there was a person that showed me videos about how to budget money, and there were people that, just helped me right and left, right and left. And I always said, and I, once got back on my feet, and this was years ago, but once I got back on my feet and, everything started working out really well for me, I always tried to pay it forward. But this self-employed business startup kit for me is my way of paying it forward to the masses for everybody who's helped
That's
me.
great. And
Nice.
La Mystique Sketchbook, or Danielle, just put a link to that in our chat. So for everyone
great.
to see.
Thanks.
So that's great.
Thanks,
Thank you, Danielle.
La Mystique.
And so for me, I'm continuing to build out my channel, and soon to have a website with a few pages, and I'm going to need to update my banner, Nick. So I'm looking forward to getting that out soon, because I want to start to produce and deliver courses in various assets, whether for Camtasia and other things, and teach more skills on video creator skills, and not just limited to Camtasia and the stuff I'm focused there. But I also have my Better Videos from Home guide, where I cover everything, from lighting, setting, green screening.
That's an excellent guide.
Budgeting for cameras and choosing. And that took me quite a long time to make, much longer than I thought, but it's loaded, and I want to keep updating.
It's loaded with
it.
it's loaded with a lot of good value. I read through that. It's very good.
Well, I started out with the intention of creating about a 1,500 word product, and it's 10,000. So it's really like a little mini ebook or something.
Overshot that one by a long way.
That's me. Overproduction. And that's what I'm trying to evolve in. It's been a hard slog, but I guess now that I watch videos like Professor Nez's on topics such as this, and learn from guys like you, Nick, and Brian, I'm hoping an old dog can learn new tricks. So he's getting there a step at a time.
Sure.
So I got a ways to go. So those are some of the goodies. And lastly, I'd like to ask, what do you, first, Naomi, what do you do to chill when you're not busy with clients and YouTube and some of these things? What just, is your kind of escape? What do you like to do?
Well, if right now I have a leg problem, but once that's healed, I want to get back to hiking. That's my big thing, is to go out hiking in the mountains or any of the parks around us. I really love hiking. If I can't do that, I have a trainer that I love. I'm going to give her a shout out, fitbykim.net, fitbykim.net. If you're in the Charlotte area, you need to check her out. I used to be 75 pounds heavier, and amazing. I have been working out with her, and every time I go to work out with her, it's sort of like my chill time. I always come away feeling great.
That's super. And just to comment on that, I try to do cardio every morning when I get up, and I struggle sometimes, and that's where my resistance fighting comes in. And then for some reason, once the day gets on and I'm deep into things, I just that becomes, I exercise in the morning. I don't do it later in the day. So it's just a psychological thing, but I need to step that up, because in contrast, I'm back to near my maximum weight, and I need to change that all around. So that's very good that you've had the discipline to stick with it, and I'm going to try to fire that up. I need to follow Steve Gamlin's, what does he call it? He has a thing he calls it, the No Man Boobs Tour 2017,
yeah, exactly.
where you have to achieve 100 workouts in the year for health, and I think just reached his over 50, which is a record for him so far. So
that's good.
Nice. I keep that. I like the way he keeps that going, and comments into Ritual about that. So Nick, what do you do to chill?
To chill, I meditate, but to actually enjoy myself, I usually like I'll just hang out with my girlfriend, or I love cruising my scooter around Thailand.
Oh, that must be fun.
How long have you been living in Thailand?
Huh?
How long have you been living in Thailand, and what made you want to move there?
A little over 10 years now. And I basically came here on vacation with my brother. My brother lived here already. And I came here on a vacation to hang out with him, and fell in love with the place. Just awesome. The lifestyle and everything here is a totally different experience than the States.
And it's called Chiang Mai, is that right? Chiang Mai, is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to visit.
We have a place to go to.
I know.
Nick?
Yeah. Yeah, Naomi, you come to Chiang Mai, I'll buy you a coffee. We'll hang out.
I can't drink coffee, but tea. I'll do tea.
Okay, yeah. We'll go to Starbucks. We'll grab teas, and we will sit and we will talk YouTube.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good. You better be careful. Good. I might take you up on that.
Go for it.
Yeah, and for
you
me,
should do it. Actually, it's a cool. It's a really cool experience going into, like if you go to South America, for example, like it's different, but there's still a lot of similarities to the States. But over here, it's like you're on a different planet in some cases, depending on where you go or whatever.
Right.
It's kind of like you're in Asia. It's almost like you're on a different planet sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing when I do travel. The few times that I have traveled, I have been to South America, and that was probably the only time I was on a trip with a group. We were on a conservation trip. I was for 3 days.
You went to Machu Picchu, right?
Yeah, Machu Picchu. I was on Machu Picchu for 3 days pulling weeds from the walls, something most people don't get to do. Planted trees.
That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, planted trees, helped rebuild Inca trails, the whole bit. I really enjoyed that. But aside from that, that was a group effort. But I do like traveling, especially to countries where I know someone, because instead of staying in a hotel, I might stay in a youth hostel or something like that. You really get to know the country and the people rather than the touristy stuff. And that's the way I like to travel.
That's fantastic. So I'd like to thank you both. It was a great experience, and wow.
And wait a minute, you didn't tell us you're chill.
Oh, okay. I like you. I love to hike when I have my physical health at a level that I can do more. I really like to go on hikes for like an hour and a half. And where I live outside the Toronto area, it's called Richmond Hill. Within 15-20 minute drive, there's all kinds of beautiful nature trails and hikes. And the springtime's here now. It's just a beautiful time of year. It's my favorite time of year. I don't like it too hot, and so like 70 degrees is ideal for hiking, and I really enjoy that. And I'm going to start to dig into more of that. And I love movies and just hanging out with people, and I like to travel too. And as Nick says, there's things to do, a bucket list eventually. I'm a big tennis fan, and I want to be able to go to all the Grand Slam events. That would be very cool. Visit Australia, London, the US.
I know somebody who did that.
Oh, the closest I've come is someone brought me back a program from Australia, from the Australian Open. And my birthday is the same date as Rod Laver, so it's going to happen. So anyways, so that's just in a nutshell, and I really enjoyed our visit today and our discussion on small YouTuber success, and it'd be great to hear from the people that watched or who watch in a replay, what your thoughts are. And if you want to connect with any one of us, there's all kinds of links and details in the description of the video. And thank you so much. Any final words, Nick and Naomi?
Thank you, everyone.
Start right now.
Start right now.
If you're wanting to dedicate yourself to YouTube, if you're wanting to dedicate yourself to that travel or that weight loss journey that we were talking about, whatever, start right now.
Oh, God.
Because your future self will thank you for it if you start right now.
Yep. Nick's making me accountable now for my weight loss. I heard that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
10 years ago, I lost 100 pounds 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's
amazing.
terrific.
Yeah.
Okay.
To add to what Nick said is start right now and understand there's going to be hard work in whatever you want to achieve.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
So thank you again. And,
Thank you.
Professor Nez would say, and we're out. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay.